We're getting down to the end of the year and players continue to heat up. Last week was one of the toughest of the year to decide who gets this ball. I've only given this to one player who didn't come up on the winning side of the game, but I did it once again this week because Dawson Schmidt of Watertown played the best game of anyone in the state last week. We're going to cover his multi-talented game at the end, but first, we're going to give a bonus game ball this week. We're going to send an extra one to Braden Gehring of Platte-Geddes. He rushed for just a single yard, but that yard was 3 years in the making. Brady suffered an injury that left him paralyzed from the waist down when he was just a freshman, but with the help of his teammates as a senior, he stepped across the goal line last Friday night. A heartwarming story that truly shows that sports can be great. Good stuff right there. All right, let's get on to our list of top performers. David Alpers dominated on defense for O'Gorman. He was blowing past O-linemen all night long to get to the quarterback. He finished with 4.5 sacks, and he also forced 2 fumbles. A huge day for the junior. Derek Esness of West Central, he didn't put the team on his shoulders. He put him on his foot. He scored 14 points kicking the football, 4 for 4 on field goals, 2 for 2 on extra points, and they had plenty of room to spare. Plus, he had a pick 6 on defense and ran the ball in their win over Madison. Caden Eisenman and Braden Gehring, they showed up big time for Mobridge-Pollock in their win over Redfield. Eisenman had a hand in 7 touchdowns, and Gehring caught 3 of those touchdowns and made 2 more interceptions on defense. The Tigers stay unbeaten, and these two have a lot to do with it. Stratton Neppard got Chester going early with this big play. He ended up the night with 296 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. And oh, by the way, ran 2 more TDs in their win against Britton Hecla. Owen Cass and Sandon Graham connected for an offensive explosion as Sturgis defeated Mitchell. Cass threw 4 touchdowns and threw for 304 yards through the air. And his favorite target was Graham. He hit him 7 times for 207 yards and a pair of touchdowns. Big night for the Scoopers, who took a big step up in 11AA. Tate Johnson did it once again. You can just pencil him in every single week for at least a pair of touchdowns. He also had his second biggest day in rushing yards with 191 on the ground. Johnson and the Lynx pulled away in the second half to beat Washington. You're going to want to tune in to this game on Midco SN on Friday night to watch Tater trot down the field. He'll be going against this guy, who you can also watch on TV on Friday, Jacob Nuth. He breathed life back into the Tigers as they overcame a 2-score deficit to beat Lincoln. Knuth was without his top receiver, Andrew Walter, but he found his other big-time playmakers, Ethan Rollinger and Carter Barenfus, for big days. Knuth ended up with 355 yards through the air and 5 touchdowns as he led Harrisburg to the victory. Jackson Gnome went for a 225-yard rushing game as Hamlin stays unbeaten. Gnome ran in 3 scores, and he also had a big day on defense too. Riley Schmitz has had a fantastic year. This week he outdid himself. He set a school record with 257 yards rushing in their win over MCM. He also scored 4 touchdowns on the day, and he had 10 tackles on defense. Big salute to Riley, who keeps EPJ moving forward in 11B. Logan Cirque is no stranger to the top performer list. He guided the Cubs to another win, this time over Elkton with the rare 200-200 game. Yes, he ran for over 200 yards and he threw for over 200 yards. Cirque has had a huge senior season. All right, that brings us back to this week's winner. The Watertown Arrows didn't win on Friday, but it wasn't because of Dawson Schmidt. He did everything humanly possible to get his team back in the game. With 6.5 minutes left in the game, Watertown was down 31-8. But that's when Schmidt got busy. He broke free for a 55-yard touchdown right here. And then, on the ensuing kickoff, he recovers the onside kick to give his team the ball back. And a couple minutes later, he struck again, going up top to haul another touchdown in. And then, with less than a minute left in the game, he did it a third time with this beauty in the corner of the end zone. He ended the game with 128 yards, a fumble recovery, an onside kick recovery, and an interception on defense. If that's not a game ball worthy performance, I don't know what is. Keep on ballin', Dawson.